Hey everyone, this is the part of the stained glass window tutorial where we are going to turn that flat piece of milk jug that I sent home to you with into a stained glass bird, like a fake stained glass bird. So this one was just made out of, as you can see, the plastic from the milk jug. This is the side I colored on. So your first step is going to be to get this piece out. All right. And some of you have like these really wonky pieces. Some of you have like these two halves of them cut in. I just tried to keep them all different so that way everybody would have a different style. But for this video, I chose bigger ones so that way you could see. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to get out your piece and you're going to figure out what kind of bird you want to draw for this, because our birds are going into a big piece that are all going to be together for a collaboration project. All right. So you can draw your bird idea on this with a pencil, or you can just go straight to it with Sharpie, which is what I did. So no mistakes kind of idea. We're just going for it. So here is my owl, and I wanted to do something a little bit different. Notice how both of my birds are in flight. Yours can be looking like they're perched on a branch if you want to. I just like to make animals in motion because I think it's a little bit more interesting, but that's just me. That, you might not have the same idea. So from this point, I'm going to finish decorating some more on my owl, and I want to make some of these lines a little bit thicker, so I'm going back in with my Sharpie. You have to use Sharpies for this. You want your stuff to look like it's stained glass, and you don't want anything to rub off either. So all right, so we have this part right here. I wanted to darken a little bit. On these owls, I'm going to make a snow owl. So I noticed that they have these little spots, like shadows right in here on their feathers. They all have kind of like this nice design where they look like spots on them. So I'm just going to put those in. It's kind of tricky sometimes because my little milk jug piece does a little bit of a curve. Stuff I want to talk about. Notice how I have like this curve right here. I have this curve right here, but then you can see that I'm going to cut that out so this line won't be there. I just wanted to have the shape of the owl as I was doing this. All right. So I'm just going to put these little spotted pieces in. I'm going to darken in some of my little lines over in this area just really quickly. Not trying to make it look too sloppy. I just want to make my line a little thicker because I want to be able to see that this is overlapping that wing right there. Okay. All right, so I'm just outlining some of this stuff right in here to make this a little bit darker. All right, so things like that. Now I'm going to go back in, and because I don't have a white Sharpie, if you decide to do a white bird, you have like one of two options right here. You could use a silver Sharpie if you have one, or you could just leave it white or leave it blank because the milk jug's kind of like a whitish clear color. It'll just work either way. So I'm going to do some little sections with silver, but I'm not going to do the whole thing with silver. I just wanted you guys to see a little bit of what it might look like if you add some silver to it. So I'm going to do right underneath the head a little bit, so that way my owl's body's got a little bit more of some contrast to it versus the rest of him. And I want to see you guys trying stuff. I want to see you really thinking it through and making your birds super awesome. So and another reminder, just like when we did our stained glass bottles, if you do Sharpie on Sharpie, it will rub off. So just heads up on that one. Let me give his head a little bit of a silver. I'm actually really liking this more than I thought I was going to. I might do the rest of him like this. So he'll be really noticeable. I'm going to do some of his little wings right in here. I actually really like this because it's helping me distinguish against some different feathers. Even just outlining them like this looks nice. So keep things in mind. I'm going to quickly fill in the rest of this, and then we will cut this out and it will be done. All right, and our last step is to just cut out our bird. And when it's done, make sure you take a nice picture of it, so that way you can upload your image onto the Google Classroom. And make sure you send me this, because remember, this is going in together as a collaboration project, so I will be collecting them. If you want them back, remember I put a little note out there that said make sure that you send it back in the bag that I sent you, and that way I have your address already written down and everything works out really well. So that way we can send it back to you after our art show is done. All right. All right, so now we have two birds. Our owl is done. It's all cut out. It looks pretty amazing. Worked out really good. So I have a little bluebird and an owl. All right, can't wait to see what you guys make.